If we are talking about seemingly impossible situations during Christmas, then we have the third seemingly impossible situation. Remember, we've talked about how was it really possible for a virgin to be expectant, and how is it possible for barrenness to be broken. Today we have even more interesting, seemingly impossible situation where the most unqualified people became the messengers, and this is shepherds turned into messengers. Welcome. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips, and encourages believers to say inawezekana. We encourage you to hit the subscriber button so that every time when you upload a new video, YouTube will be able to notify you. If you don't subscribe to this channel, you will never find us, and so please subscribe to this channel so that we can continue being blessed and learning those seemingly impossible situations that happen during Christmas. And this should stretch your faith. This should encourage you and make you to feel strong and to believe God even as we come to the end of the year. My name is John Kemani. Now, the last time we were here, we've already talked about how can a virgin be expectant and how can barren be expectant. And today we want to switch our gears, as we've said, and talk about what we call, messengers turned into, shepherds turned into messengers. Now, to keep us going there, we shall learn about, let's read the book of Luke. The book of Luke chapter 2, verse number 15. Luke chapter 2, verse number 15, we'll find it here. Luke chapter 2, verse number 15. Luke chapter 2, verse number 15. Here we go. When the angels had left them, that is, the shepherds, and gone back to heaven, the shepherds told one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see what has taken place that the Lord has told us about." Verse 16. So they went. Now look at that. They went quickly and found Mary and Joseph with a baby who was lying in the feeding trough. Verse 17. When they saw this, they repeated what they had been told about the child. All who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. However, Mary continued to treasure all these things in her heart and ponder them. Then the shepherds returned to their flock, glorifying and praising God for everything they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. This is a very interesting story about shepherds turning back into messengers. And there are a few things that would want to ask a very simple question, because this is a very important question that we need to ask. And the question we ask ourselves now: how comes shepherds of all the people? Now you need to understand that shepherds shared for you need to understand that shepherds were unqualified. Number one, they were unqualified in the sense that they were unprepared. If you're still thinking about how unprepared they were, we need to remind you they were not ready for the assignment. We find they were, yet, much as they were not ready for the assignment, they are well excited, they are energized and elevated evangelists. We see verse 17 and 18, actually we read that they went quickly. They left their flock, they left their possessions, they went quickly, energized, excited, elevated, and they went and shared the story that they heard from the angels. And when the impact of their message is that people were amazed, people were surprised, people were like, "Hey, what kind of news are the shepherds bringing?" Which tells us that much as they were unprepared, much as they were not ready for the assignment, they did it, and they did it well. You need to realize that God calls those people that sometimes are there, they look unprepared. Psychologically physically they seems to be unprepared, but those are the people that God comes and tap them and tell them, hey, I have an assignment for you. Can we speak to you? You who thinks you're not prepared for God's mission. You who thinks you're not prepared to start a business. You who thinks you're not prepared to become a kingdom financial. You who thinks you cannot be able to make an impact within the kingdom, within the society that God has placed you. Can we tell you that God is making you prepared for the assignment? The second thing that we see about these evangelists is that they were unclean. Yeah, they were actually unclean. And why do we say they were unclean? Their work involved staying out, running up and down. They did not have time and space, to clean themselves, to be, to put on their best clothes. Did they have time, to stay clean? Yet they slept to the animals. You can see the foul smell of the goats and the sheep. And they were dirty, they were smelling. Yet God in heaven, despite them being unclean and dirty, these are the men that God picked so that they can take the message about the shepherd, the chief shepherd. It's very interesting that God can trust unclean people like this to go and take this message. And can we speak to somebody tonight that God does not use those clean vessels? He picked them the way they are, he cleans them, and once he cleans them, he makes them ready for his mission. And so if you feel you are unclean, maybe because of the many things that you've done in your life, you feel you are dirty, you feel you are unclean, God, through his blood, through the blood that was shed by Jesus or on cross, will make you ready. The third thing, very interesting, that we learn is not only were they unclean, but again, number 3, they were unnamed. The historical Luke did not even labor to share their names, and we just wonder how. And the answer is very simple. If Dr. Luke did not labor to tell us the name, it simply means that these people were not important. This was intentional. The names of these shepherds were known, but Luke did not find it important to tell us the names. Simply, they were not important. This is a writing style in Hebrew that when somebody is not important, you don't share their names. Yet, the most important news about the birth of the King of Kings, about the birth of the Prince of Peace, was entrusted to these unimportant people, to these useless, if you like, to these people that were seen as low cadre, those people that were dismissed, that were doubted, that were only taken, treated with contempt, the people that were despised. These are the people that were entrusted with the message. Friends, we need to encourage you and remind you that Christ has entrusted to us the message of salvation, the message of reconciliation. We are not the best. We do not have the best looks. We don't have the best in terms of family background. We may not be coming from such. But can I tell you today that Christ has entrusted to us that message, and as unqualified as we are, as insignificant as we are, as useless and despised and taken for granted as we are, Christ has entrusted that message to us. And then number 4, it's these people, these shepherds, again, they were unqualified in the fact that they were unreliable. By the way, these people confused mine with yours, and they ended up even carrying that which they thought is mine and yours. They believed it is theirs. They were unreliable. They were thieves. They were conmen. They were bad people, bad character. And even in the court of law, if you brought a shepherd to bring a witness, the testimony was not taken seriously because it was dismissed as unreliable. Yet, as much as these people were taken and dismissed as unreliable, these are the men that God, the heavens, entrusted to go and take such a serious message, which tells you that the message of Jesus Christ, The message of salvation can be taken by those people that look horrible, unreliable. They can be entrusted, because God does not look at what the society thinks of us, but rather he looks at what is in our heart. When the messengers, when the shepherds had this, they were so excited, they rose up and did that. By the way, why you without a smartwatch? Why? And this is the smartwatch of the year. This is the best way to end this year. If you look at this, you can see this is the smartwatch here. You know, I need to turn it off, turn it on. You can see that is the smartwatch. You can see the beautiful straps, and then in addition there is earbuds. You know, there is the ear Bluetooth, then there is the charger, then there's a magnetic charger, you know, and then there is a magnetic battery pack, and you know, there is a power adapter. You know, all these things we shall give you, all these accessories plus the smartwatch, we are giving it away with just 3,000 shillings. Why don't you call on 0706566555 and be a proud owner of our smartwatch? You know, and so we are saying that Christ was able, Christmas story was able to turn shepherds into messengers. Those people that were taken as unqualified, unprepared, unclean, you know, let's take it again, as unprepared, taken as unclean, taken as you know, unnamed, in other words, insignificant and unreliable. These are the men that were entrusted with the gospel. This is Marketplace Media, an online platform that engages, equips and encourages believers to say inawezekana. We want to believe that you've taken time to subscribe to this channel, and otherwise, if you have not done that, you never find us again. Even as we come to the end of this show, please make sure that you subscribe, so that every time when YouTube uploads a new video, you shall be notified. My name is John Kimani. This is Marketplace Media, where we always say inawezekana.